I'm great, Rue. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Should I put it here?
No,
What about here?
there. No, that's perfect.
Hey,
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. Chilling on a Saturday.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
I finally got some sleep.
You not been sleeping good?
Well, no, I had to take a late flight into Pittsburgh, where I am currently.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh with an H at the end. And I then had to wake up. So I landed in Pittsburgh and got to the hotel about 1:30, and then had to be up at 6:30 to do press.
Ugh.
And then I was on the radio for 2.5 hours
Ugh.
on WDVE, which is actually one of like 4 radio stations in the country that I look forward to doing.
Right.
Because you just hang out. You're just part of the show. They're not like, what bits do you want to do? And how do I set you up for bits?
Right.
And so yeah, so like it's fun. You just become like a morning radio host, and it's fun. And they're great guys, and they set me up with like super sweet tickets for the Pirates game tomorrow.
Cool.
Like I get to sit in the section where everything's free, and there's
You
like
love those.
there's like a prime rib buffet, right? What are you, allergic
I'm allergic.
to awesome?
I was gonna say I'm allergic to deals. That sounds great.
Yeah. So
Have you been to that stadium before?
yes, it's what kind of sold me on downtown
Baseball.
stadium.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the first downtown stadium I had been to. I've been to a couple more since then, i.e. Denver and Yankee. And it's just, I had actually been in downtown Pittsburgh during a game before, and like it was super cool because you're just like walking around downtown, and all of a sudden you hear like a crack of a bat and a crowd go nuts. Like it's crazy.
Like
And
sitting out on the outside of Wrigley Field.
yeah. And so it's just, but you're just like walking around like with, being all fancy and cosmopolitan.
Walking around with my you know what and my you know who, or whatever Eminem said. Yeah, but he's so cute though.
So and then a few years later I actually got to go to the park, and it's awesome. It's a great ballpark, and I'm looking forward to getting back to it. Yeah. And yeah, but yes. No, so long story short, sleep schedule messed up incredibly, and last night's shows were a struggle. Like they went well, but just like I'm just like, how does this go? And
you know what? You guys do this part.
At one point, my opener plays guitar, but something's wrong with it, and so he didn't end up playing it, but the guitar stayed up on stage, and like I'm still rebuilding the hour, so like I have a Q&A in the middle of it because I'm just I don't want to.
What do you guys want to hear?
Yeah, I don't want to do a bunch of old jokes if I don't have to.
Yeah, and, like what's your name? Do some improv. I've never done it. I'm gonna do it now.
So this guy was like, "What's with the guitar?" And I was like, "Oh, Mike was gonna play it, but something's wrong with it." He goes, "Well, you play guitar though, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, play some guitar." I was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." So then, but I was so tired, I'm just gonna play Waterfalls and you can sing it. And that's ended up what happened. And but no, I was just exhausted. So like
they were probably like, we paid $25 for this.
Yeah, you're goddamn right you did.
For something I do in my Honda Accord.
Well, oh yeah. Well, people go to Taylor Swift and she says 2 words, and then everyone's just like, no, we got it. We got it from here.
Because she plays 44 songs.
Yeah. Well,
I sing 44 songs a night.
I play 1 on 3 hours sleep, and you're gonna have to cover most of it.
At least you're honest.
So yeah, like I woke up at like 8 o'clock this morning. My body's like, we should get up, and I'm like, how about we go in the bathroom and smoke a bunch of weed and you shut the fuck up, body? And then I slept till 2.
I'm the boss of us.
So yeah,
you're not me. I'm me. Who do you think you are? I am. Oh Lordy.
Oh yeah. And so might have had a minor melt like internal meltdown yesterday at Starbucks nearby, because I did a mobile order because I like to just walk in, grab it, and leave. I don't want to hang out.
Of course, no one wants to hang out. We've paid our dues.
So ordered it. 10 minutes later, showed up. It wasn't ready. And then I just watch all these people walk up, make an order, walk over, get their coffee, and leave. Walk up, and meanwhile,
like how it normally works.
Yeah. But meanwhile, I'm sitting there with my mobile order going, I don't see him making it. And finally, I'm like, hey, is there a mobile order for Chris? And she was like, yeah, it's in the queue. And then just kept making drinks for people that were there. And I was like, just the rage in my head. Like if I would have been a Bugs Bunny cartoon, I would have been like, wee, and so, but luckily the coffee came. Also, I might have just needed coffee.
Yeah, that sounds like that's what that is.
Yeah. But to be fair, I clocked it at 22 minutes to get a coffee.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You can get in and out of a Denny's faster than that.
You can get in and out of an In-N-Out faster than that.
No, you can't. Unless you get there right when they open, which is usually my strategy.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had an In-N-Out.
I got it on the drive home from Vegas.
Oh, there you go.
It was 10:30 in the morning and I was ravenous.
Yeah.
So
probably
I was like,
a little hung.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then also like praying to God that my car was going to make it back.
Oh, that was that drive.
It was that drive. The recent trip. So I was like white knuckling for the first 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it's 10:30, In-N-Out. Where is it? And man, that was the best parking lot burger I've ever had. It was so goddamn good.
Well, welcome back.
Welcome back.
The 1 millionth podcast. I'm Chris Porter.
I'm Andi Porter.
I'm the brother.
I'm the sister.
That's right. We're Scott and Carol's kids. Although
we sure are.
Depending on how the pod goes, they may not cop to that.
Then we're just Scott's kids.
We're just
Scott's tots.
I left in the middle of it. You guys were too high.
It's just when you keep talking, I tune out. It's like that's the point of the thing.
Yeah. That's our mom, by the way. That's who we're being. She was like, you guys get too high. And I just but mom has a lot higher expectations of us than literally anyone. Which is fair.
Including us. Well, she's our mom.
She's our mom. She actually knows what we're capable of. And man.
But I told her I'm not going back to that magic school.
Magic's in here. You can't teach it. But also you can teach it.
Yeah, you probably can.
So how you been? What have you been doing? It's been a few weeks.
It has been a few weeks. I've been good. I've been really busy, which is great.
Yeah.
Work has been kind of nuts. Like they pulled me off of the trauma stories and put me on like, I'm working in a completely other verticals now, but it's for, it's a show called Experts React, and like it's experts reacting to video gameplay of like what they're the expert in. So
okay.
Last week it was a shark diver. This week it was a cave diver. The other day it was like a weapons expert and tactical trainer.
What game did you watch for the shark trainer? Echo the Dolphin?
It's Chompy. It's on the Switch. No, it was called Subnautica.
Really?
Yeah, then the other one is called Under the Waves. I mean, sure. But I mean, it was my favorite one was when we did like an underwater Call of Duty mission.
Oh, okay.
And they were like talking about like the realism of it and like that you can't do that underwater. And like but then there's like things that do work under, and so it's just like it's a cool concept. I'm really enjoying doing it, and it's been really fun.
Because ballistic weapons don't work underwater.
They do as long as the gunpowder's not wet.
Oh, yeah. But also,
But
like I saw,
it's pretty hard to keep it from getting wet.
I don't know if it was whatever that show was where they debunk mysteries,
Mythbusters,
myth debunkers,
myth bonks. Remember those guys?
live
Ted
from
and Jerry.
debunker. But they were talking about like bullets once they get into water can't travel more than like 3 feet. Like,
well, it's also because the water displacement, right? So
yeah,
and it doesn't have the trajectory. It also depends on the current and depends on your depth.
looking at you. So, we ever need to do an underwater heist, we're covered. We know what we're doing.
I've got us. One thing
we need
I did
a plasma welder. All right.
Some sort of bazooka that doesn't exist yet.
It's called a razooka.
Because you're underwater.
Fuck.
But it was really cool. I talked to a guy yesterday, and he goes exploring in caves, underwater caves that have never been explored by humans.
Nope.
And he was telling me about like doing it in like murky conditions where you have to like follow this line, and they clip these things called arrows, and there's ones called chips, but they clip them on the line. So as they're feeling through, it points them in the direction that they're supposed to be going towards the exit. And I was like,
no.
I was like, that sounds so terrible. I watched one episode of Baywatch where they got stuck in a cave, and I was like, not for me.
What was that guy like as a person? I just want to know the guy, what the guy's like. That's like, yeah, I go into underwater caves that I can't see where I'm going, and there might be literally a beast.
He seems like very level-headed, weirdly. Yeah. And also, like, I didn't realize like when you have to do the decomp when you come up, decompression, like you're there for like hours sometimes. He's like, oh yeah, I watched all the Sons of Anarchy, couple of movies, and I was like, wow. I was like, you probably don't watch Jaws in that situation, do you? He was like, yeah, bro, I don't care.
Yeah. I remember I did a gig once in Houston. It was like a private gig and it was for a charity that helped like recalibrate Navy SEALs when they come back into real life.
The animals? Oh.
And this guy, Garrett Golden, basically I had to do a show, but before that I had to do a dinner with like all of the big money. Like everyone at this table was a billionaire except for me and the Navy SEAL and the guy that put on the charity. And like we went around and talked about what everybody did. And one of the guys was like married into the people that own the Houston Texans. And he's just like, he was the best because he was just like, I'm just the luckiest son of a bitch on the planet. I was a cop, and then I fell in love with this girl, and she had all the money in the world. Blah, blah, bloop, bleep, blah.
Oh my God, that's my dream.
And then one lady was like, well, you know, we run this company, and when we're not doing that, I'm really into my Lamborghini racing club. And I'm like, you have so much money that
I bet they don't meet on Facebook.
No, they meet on whatever Zuckerberg has that's for the elites. Elite book.
Elite buck. It's like through a plug that you put in your anus. It is kind of like your own fingerprint.
But anyway, Garrett started telling stories, and he had the record for the most time just under, like, he would just hang out underwater for like 2 days. And he said that like magazines hold under pressure. So he would just be down there reading like Cosmo and Maxim and shit. But he said
that's 10 minutes right there. What are you doing for the other 47 and a half hours?
But he said one time he got out of the submersible and he was like doing this to like to kind of figure out if there was anything out there, and he touched something and he looked over and he said it was an eye that was about that big.
Yeah.
And he was like, shut the door. Fucking, we're getting out somewhere else.
Oh no. That is the real life Gravity scene where George Clooney's just floating out on the outside like, hey, coffee?
Yeah, except George Clooney's a giant monster.
I heard he is. No, I'm just kidding. I've never heard that. I've heard he's nothing but lovely.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, so work has
also
been
that's,
nuts.
well, before you get out of that, it's got to be nice to, I mean, a gig's a gig, but it's got to be taxing on the psyche just to hear nothing about sad stories every day of the week. It's got to be nice to get.
I was not in a good place.
Like, I remember many days we were like, "Oh, we're gonna pod." And she was like, "Yeah, I got to do this interview." And at the end of it, she was like, "I cannot. I don't want to talk to people."
Yeah, I'm gonna hold my dog and watch King of the Hill, where they don't talk about anything like this. Yeah, no, it's just I guess I'm more empathic than most people would believe.
Yeah, empathetic.
Yeah, that's the same thing, right? Empathic.
I thought empathic is where you can see the future.
No, empathic is when empathy. It was like you feel the feelings that like you feel bad for someone who's feeling a certain kind of feeling, or
Okay.
you have an emotional reaction to someone who's feeling a certain way.
Okay.
I'm probably not just defining that correctly, but I'm close.
Empathic.
What are you thinking?
I'm looking at it, and okay. The words empathetic and empathic mean the same thing. Empathic is the older word, but not by much. Oh.
Huh.
Yeah.
Look at you using some young slang for once.
It's back in my day, we called the Noam Helm fields. We got that name from the natives.
All right. Yeah, but like their stories would just, especially the darker ones, and unfortunately there were some that were darker than others, but because every story is different.
Yeah.
But it would just sit with me and like stay with me, and like I had so many meetings with my supervisors. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so they were like, we hear you, and they completely reacted in a timely and efficient way and swapped me over onto a bunch of other stuff that I'm much better at.
Yeah.
And my time is much better suited doing these other things. And I pitched a new show this week and they picked it up. And so I'm producing that now.
Yeah. Andy Brew.
Doink, doink,
Getting
doink,
shit
doink.
done. Fiddle-a-doo.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. Things are good, even though there's a strike. I went to a new concert venue last night in downtown LA.
Oh, what's it called?
The Bellwether.
Okay.
It's on the west side of the 110.
Sounds like something Jack White would own.
Kind of, because it's the same owners as the Terragram Ballroom, which is over also in that area.
Okay.
Similar venues. It reminds me a lot of what was that? The Voodoo Lounge at the Argosy.
Oh, okay.
But like smaller. Like the bar is outside and there's like a huge bar and you get drinks super fast.
Nice.
And then it's like a 1,600 person venue.
And who'd you see?
Carly Rae Jepsen.
I know that name. Was she a Disney person?
No, but she is Disney-esque in the sense that she had that, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy.
Yeah.
She is a gay
also,
icon.
Carly Rae Jepsen just sounds like a Disney name.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
For sure. And she like toured with Bieber and stuff, so that makes sense. But she's a gay icon, so I went with the gays.
Gaycon.
And we stayed for like half the set. My friend bought me a shirt.
Why did she play all the hits up front?
She was actually playing Call Me Maybe as we were leaving, and Nathan was like, she's doing it, let's just stay. I was like, the car's here. And Tyler was like, yeah, the car's here, we're leaving.
Trust me, we can hear it 3 times on the way home.
But tomorrow I'm seeing Maggie Rogers at the Bowl.
What does she sing?
Probably nothing you would know.
But I know that, but there's other people listening.
I was walking through westward streams and took my breath away.
Okay.
So, and also one of my top favorite bands is opening for her, Always, and I've never seen them, and I'm so excited.
Oh, very nice.
One of my sad lesbian music is what Tyler calls it, but I love it so much.
In that Tori Amos vibe.
No, they're like bedroom pop. It's like ethereal, like, ooh.
Oh, okay. So you feel like you're halfway between awake and a dream,
Uh-huh.
like you're floating in a cloud somewhere over Miami.
Yeah. They have that song, Hey, hey, marry me, Archie.
Nope. All
Yeah.
right.
I knew it. But that was for the Dumble fucks.
Okay, and the talent receivers.
Uh-huh. I'm
I'll
supposed to
tell
go
you
to an
what.
engagement party today in Redondo Beach, and I think I'm not gonna go.
That's a trek. I mean, it is Saturday, but Saturday's still beach day. It's still going to
I
be a lot of
it's the
traffic.
traffic has been over an hour the whole time. I've been checking
Yeah.
it like all morning.
Is this their first engagement?
Yeah, it's for Sarah from the gym.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
like she
yeah.
traveled from Quebec to be here, but like an hour.
Oh, I'll tell you an album that I have been that I rediscovered. I almost said refound, and then I was like, that's not a word. Uh, Macy Gray has a record called The Id, and it's. I genuinely think the album would have been humongous if had not come out 6 days after 9/11.
You know, there is an artist named oh god, who fucking was she? her her debut album came out on 9/11. She blames 9/11 for her album not doing well.
I mean, there's an argument for that. And also it was like this Macy Gray album is this fun, funky record that's about fucking around and getting their heart broke and mental illness. And man, it's just I was like, yeah, no one wanted to hear this 6 days after the tower fell. Like I didn't find it until a few months later. But yeah, I was like, if you weren't talking about putting a boot in a fucking person's butthole, like no one was listening to you.
Oh my god, we would listen, like even driving to school. Megan Mulvaney would drive me to school, and me and her brothers would be like, "We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way." Also, I love that I'm holding a microphone like this, but I literally have one right here. But like 6:30 in the morning, driving to school, just like, "We'll put a boot in." But you could only listen to a verse and a chorus, and then we were at the parking lot.
And I just remember we were all so scared because every city had a reason why they could be the next one. Like
For
even
sure.
like Kansas City was like, because we'll never see it. We're the heart of America. They never see it coming. Even like Tulsa's like, we're just south of that.
Amarillo's like, rootin' tootin', we've got missiles. um, Speaking of tragedies, I want to talk about something. With the Maui tragedy, and it's heartbreaking to see them going through those fires. Like Aubrey, the house that her family used to have, they sold it, but it burnt down. Like the whole neighborhood is gone.
The whole Lahaina's gone. Like it hurt. It's very devastating, obviously, for the people that live there. But I literally just booked my third trip there. Like it is my happy place. I was so looking forward to taking Jen and going. Like we had just, I was like, every night we'll go down to Lahaina, we'll eat at a different restaurant, we'll eat fish, and the entire city's fucking gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And like part of me wanted to just go anyway, if for no other reason than to just put money into the economy. But it's like they need those rooms for residents, and they need, it's anyway. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but
no, I just completely appreciated, and it's heartbreaking to see something that could have been preventable happen like that. Well, with the right, like they didn't even have warnings. It's just like some people didn't even get warned.
I saw an article. I didn't read it just because I was prepping for this, but I guess some experts had warned them a few years ago that this was a possibility.
Yeah, since like 2016, they were like, "Hey," and they've tried, and like they've had like a lot of local city meetings, and they've tried to raise money, and they've done some brush clearing, but it's just they were too far behind, and caught up with them. So there's a guy I went to college with who is I'd say he's a C-D-list celebrity.
Okay.
Loved him in college. Don't talk to him anymore now, because if he posts one more shirtless selfie on Instagram, I'm gonna barf.
Okay, I vibe that.
Yeah. But he's a great actor. Like, he deserves all the work that he's getting, but his social media presence is abhorrent. And this morning, I wake up and I go on social media. This motherfucker has a shirtless picture of him on a beach in Hawaii, not even in Lahaina, with a caption that says, "I feel like I was just next door to this," because he wasn't on Maui.
Yeah.
And then, like, the next slide is a donation tile, and then one more slide of a shirtless selfie, and then another slide of a donation tile. And
he evens it out.
I'm like, this is so gratuitous.
Yeah.
What you're doing. Like, the shirtless selfies in and of itself, like, we all talk about them and laugh about them, but it's like there are people that thirst after him and, like, let him have his flowers,
Yeah.
This is so tone deaf.
Yeah.
Like, so tone deaf.
Half tone deaf.
Because
even that's what happened. Even he was like, I don't know, that might be too much. You know what? I'll put up a charity tile.
You know what? He never thought it was too much. He was just like, where's a shirtless picture of me on a beach so I can post this donation tile? Anyway,
yeah,
my whole morning, I was just like,
anyway, can you give me his Instagram thing? I want to donate. It is cool that Bezos gave 100 million. That's huge.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Bezos and his new chick gave 100 million. So
good for him.
And Floyd Mayweather flew 68 families out.
I saw that.
Look at him trying to make amends for all the rape and the
assaults. He punched every woman before they got on the plane.
Gas ain't free.
Ass, gas, free. Or grass. Or punchies.
Oh, what else you been up to?
Yeah, what else have I been up to? Last weekend we saw Oppenheimer.
We did not see it together, but we both saw it.
We did.
We will not spoil it. I will give my thoughts. I will allow you to give your thoughts first.
There's a bomb.
There's a bomb. Yeah, they're building a bomb. Also, spoiler. A lot of Jews. I just say that as a joke because anti-Semitism is a major part of the movie.
Yeah.
Anywho, great movie. We disagree about this. Okay, here's the thing. You can either see it in 70 millimeter or in IMAX, but there's like 30 theaters throughout the country where it has both.
Mm-hmm.
And Andi and I were both lucky enough to see it in both. I would argue if you have to make the choice, I would say 70 millimeters, the choice to make. I just didn't feel like, and Andi disagrees with me. I didn't feel like the IMAX was as important.
Yeah. I feel like it's important to see the film and it's in the intended way for it to be filmed, like in the 100%. intended exhibition through Christopher Nolan's eye, right?
Yeah, because that's what he's like, this is how it's intended.
Right. I'm just gonna say, I took film classes.
And you have to say it like that. You have to say it with that inflection.
You do. By an Oscar. Well, he didn't have the Oscar when I was there, but he has an Oscar now.
Okay.
But he's an amazing filmmaker. Kevin Wilmot.
Okay.
It was amazing. He taught us like all about the spaghetti westerns and like, yeah. I would venture to say that I feel like it's meant to feel that close and personal because what's inside his mind is so vast.
Of course.
And tumultuous that it like you want to feel like you're as close to being inside his head at all times.
Fair enough. It was
That is my
cinema.
perspective.
I was aware that I
yes.
was in
Peak cinema.
Yeah, and amazing. Like, it's not like if your favorite movie is a Marvel movie, you know, you might not grasp this to its full extent.
Right.
But
And if your favorite movie is a Marvel movie, watch some other fucking movies.
I mean, they're fun.
They're good.
They're a
fun,
giant roller coaster of fun.
Yeah, they should never be in anyone's top 10. If I like go on a date with someone and they're like Infinity War, and I'm like, fuck off. No, just I shriveled up. Hell no.
I did see it at the Chinese theater, which is always an epic event because of the history behind it. You're like,
I haven't been there since we saw Hostel there in probably 2005.
Nor did I. That was the last time I had been there.
And your roommate Jess brought a 12-pack of Bud Light in her purse. And
I
was 19. I was like, this is fucking living. This is some cool shit.
And it was like we saw it on some weird night. There was hardly anyone in there.
Yeah, there was no one in there except like the first half of that movie is basically a porno, and I'm like, don't really want to be sitting next to my brother for this one. Jess, handies.
The Chinese theater is where they used to do all the premieres, and I'm saying this for the listeners. So when you have a good seat, you're like somewhere in the back of your head, you're like, Jack Nicholson, Marilyn Monroe could have sat in this seat. You don't know.
Jack Nicholson did coke off Marilyn Monroe in this seat.
And but for the Oppenheimer shows were being sold out weeks in advance. And
we bought our tickets a month before we saw it. I bought my tickets right after the 4th of July, and I saw it August 8th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, once they had started, they were only selling them a week out. And like to the point where there were 6 a.m. showings at Grauman's.
I'm not going to lie to you. That doesn't sound terrible.
Oh, that sounded like the worst to me.
Are you kidding? Like have some coffee, walk down there, have a coffee and some Oppenheims?
Dude, I'm barely like if I have a 6 a.m. tea time, I don't even remember the first 3 holes. I'm just trying to be a person.
But do you remember their names?
I'm usually just trying to stop the shakes from the drinking the night before.
Oh man.
But we saw it. Our tickets were off to the side. At best, I was in a key grip for Casablanca's seat. You know.
Casa Key Grip.
Casa Key Grip.
Fuck, what was I gonna say? You know what I was gonna say?
Ba-da-da-da. Good talk.
God damn it.
Chinese theater. Grauman's, Oppenheimer's. Anyway, it's an amazing movie. You should see it. I don't think I'm going to see any more movies in the theater unless they're in space or have giant explosions. That was kind of my vibe when I left. I was like, I could have seen this at home and been fine.
That was
but also
that's like when
I have a giant television. I have a giant television.
I know you.
I would have gotten the gist of it. I would have seen the emotions in his face, and I would have been comfy.
Do you know he was only eating like an almond a day?
3 hours is just tough.
It is tough. It is tough. I still need to go see Barbie. I think I'm going to go see that this week by myself.
I want to go see it.
I haven't been to the movies by myself in a minute, and I really enjoy it.
I'll tell you what, going to see that Lyle Lovett concert by myself was an eye-opening experience in the fact that you're just focused on the music.
I don't need anybody anymore.
I don't need fucking by myself concerts might be a thing.
I mean, that does sound fun.
It was
scary
great.
As a girl, but probably nice as a 6'3" dude.
No. As a girl, it had to be, especially if the dude that came sitting next to me sat next to you, you'd have been like, I need to go find somewhere else to go.
Hey, Lyle, can I come up there?
It's just this guy.
Do we have a code word? We haven't met.
Speaking of which, this is a story that I had, but we'll just talk about it now. We're big Below Deck fans. And
I haven't watched the episode yet.
I haven't watched the episode, but I've read like 19 articles about it.
Oh, I don't know anything yet.
Oh, do you want me to not?
Yeah, no, tell me. I would actually rather have you tell me so I'm a little prepared, because I know, trigger warning, it's about sexual assault.
Yeah. So below deck down under, which if you're familiar with below deck Mediterranean, which we 100% are, Aisha, the Australian girl, it's basically they're like,
she's a Kiwi.
She's a Kiwi, but they were basically like, we need to wrap a show around this chick. And so it's all down in Australia. Anyway, so below deck, down under. If you haven't seen the show, yachties, it's rich people on yachts. It follows the yachties. When the yachties have a night off, they tend to go out and just get blackout hammered. Like all of them.
Shit canned. They're also all between like 21 and 29.
Yeah, so it's like,
so it's kind of the time to do that. Definitely not when you're 37.
Yeah, no, like when I see what they're drinking at 44, knowing full on that I probably did way more than that when I was 27, I was like,
it's all the mixing. And there's so many colors in the drinks.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's scary.
And
they drink like red wine and they're sweating and it's summertime and they're drinking red wine. I'm just like, your reflux, you children.
Anyway, they all get blackout hammered and some of them end up hooking up and stuff. It's all very consensual for the most part. Anyway,
sometimes they even end up dating and like moving into the same cabin. And it's like, there's suddenly a newlywed couple on the boat.
Look, is it a great show? Absolutely not. Do you want to watch all of them? Yes. And
that's what makes it a great show.
I guess so. But also it's like it's a caveat you have to give people when you show it to them. Like, don't expect, this isn't The Wire, bro. Like, we're
First of all you have to say this show's on Bravo, and that explains everything. It explains everything.
So one of the girls, they all go out, get blackout hammered. One of the girls is being hit on by a guy and she's not into it.
Which girl?
Not Aisha, but one of her
one of the stews.
Anyway, she goes to bed and then there's cameras all over the boat, including in the rooms. Yeah. And one of the dude that's been hitting on her comes down in a towel and just goes into her room. And the producers just immediately are like banging on the door. You got to get the fuck out of there. Blah, 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 blah. And so they get him out of there. I mean, he doesn't just go,
I know exactly which guy it is too.
He's not like, you got me. He's very violent and there's a lot of door slamming and all that stuff. And the girl wakes up and she's like, thank you, God, thank God you were here. But also then another chick got kicked off because she was super rapey towards a dude and started doing the same thing towards him. And then that same chick was like, I don't think what that dude did was so bad.
I know exactly who that is. That's Laura.
So they booted two of them, but
I'm an episode before the essay episode. And she is really putting it on heavy onto this guy. But I feel like the guy that she was laying it on heavy with is the guy who entered the room, but I could be wrong.
It's the bosun.
That's who I'm thinking of.
No.
So she must have, because in the episode,
Alex, I think.
Oh, okay. In episode 4, she's after the Brooklyn dude. In episode 4, she's like kind of deciding which guy she's going to go after. And it ends with her putting it on heavy with the bosun. But he forcibly kissed one of the stews like the first night they went out, like a couple times.
Yeah. And
she just like stood back like this with her arms crossed. And he was like, oh, you standing back with your arms crossed? She was like, yeah, I did not like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then he just kept doing it.
But yeah, so and yeah, Laura's the one that gets kicked off because she went after Adam. Yeah. Unwanted sexual advances towards a member of the deck crew, Adam Kodra. Adam feels uncomfortable. Yeah. So sorry to.
I think that's the Brooklyn dude.
sorry to spoil episode, whatever, but
No, one of my friends was like, take a Xanax before you watch that episode. And I was like,
yeah.
So I'm kind of glad that you spoiled it for me.
Well,
I know
at least the producers got in there beforehand.
Good for them. Good on the producers.
There's probably a gang of producers out there that would have been like, let's just see how far it goes.
Well, also Bravo is coming under a lot of heat right now, and there's quite a lawsuit coming their way about how they mistreat their cast members, like depriving them of sleep, depriving them of information, food, things like that to heighten their emotional state.
Last Comic Standing did that.
Yeah. So, and I mean, like, that's kind of, I mean, I'm sure they're breaking the law with some sort of coercion.
Yeah. No, I remember once there was a night we were out. The producers are right there. We're in the common room where we all hung out. We're playing poker. We're drunk, and they come to us at 10 o'clock and go, "Your call time's 2 a.m." And we go, we thought they were kidding. We're like, "Are you saying in 4 hours we have to be up?" They're like, "Yeah." And we're like, "Well, okay." So we all try to go to bed. No one goes to sleep. We all wake up. They drag us over to Wilshire to do the Adam Carolla show, which didn't start till 5. So we sat in the lobby for an hour. And then we all, so I drank this energy drink. I ended up having like a fucking episode. And then when we get back and we all want to go to bed, and they're like, "No, you have to eat breakfast." And we're like, "We don't want to fucking eat breakfast. We want to go to bed." And they're like, "You have to go eat breakfast." So we go upstairs. There's no breakfast. They haven't set it up yet. They go, "Breakfast will be ready in 10 minutes. Bill Dwyer freaks the fuck out and starts yelling at people. And I'm like, I'm right in there with you, Bill. I'm like, "Yeah, fuck this, fuck that." And fucking Bill threw a chair. Not like hard, but just like knocked it over. And it's a fucking
that'll get you arrested at Power and Light.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to tell that. So they're in trouble for that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Also, I heard Captain Jason and Aisha were really proactive in it as well.
Yeah. They made the dudes stay at a hotel while they figured everything out, and then they brought them on, and they're like, "Get the fuck off the boat and take this bitch with you." And
I bet they walked off. They were like, "You want a bone?"
Yeah.
They're like, "Nah, we don't like it when it's consensual."
No. Will you choke me?
I had my Taco Bell Cantina birthday.
Oh, you did? How'd it go?
I did. It was awesome.
Did they give you like a little room?
No.
Is there like a private room?
I didn't tell them I was coming.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think they have that. But it's 2 blocks from my apartment. So we pre-gamed here, walked down there, got Baja blasted.
No.
You can order a frozen Baja Blast, and it comes with 1 shot of vodka, rum, or tequila. And you can add up to 3 shots in there. Jordan and I put 2 shots and like shared a small one, and we were like, "Wow!" And it was Kettle.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't fuck around. It's, what is it? Kettle, Julio, and what's the other one?
They've
Bacardi.
got a bunch of top shelf shit.
Yeah.
It's
Taco Bell don't fuck around.
They don't fuck around, and they had the lava sauce. It was amazing. I also put fistfuls of Tums and Pepsi in my purse, and they were gone by the end of the night because my friends are old.
Yeah, no, I need to get into that Pepsi game. Tired of waking up with my esophagus being a fucking trail of fire.
Well, I like the Tums for that because the Tums quells that immediately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the chalk absorbs all that acid.
Oh, okay. Good
or
to
it's
know.
Not, well, like the chalky substance. It's not like actual chalk, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the Pepsi.
So I shouldn't just be grabbing some stuff off the blackboard in a pinch.
I mean, it would work probably.
I don't think it would.
Blah. Just the. But it was fun.
That's awesome.
It was fun. Everyone had the best time. It was great. Yeah.
Didn't you have another birthday party as well besides the Taco Bell Cantina?
Uh-uh.
No. All right, well, sorry I couldn't make it.
Well, it went from Taco Bell Cantina to Powerhouse, which now has like a back patio, which is next to a dumpster. So we just sat out there and smoked weed. And then and it has a dartboard. And so we smoked weed, played darts. And then we were like, let's just go to Dave and Buster's across the street. So we did that. And then, of course, at 12:30, they were like, let's go back to Andi's. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, no.
I was up until about 3:30.
Ooh.
But worth it. Had the best time. It was fun.
I had a gig in Spokane, and they have like a lot of the West Coast have a large homeless population, but this something special. Huge daywalker vibes, like the homeless in LA, like 50-50. Some are like full on zombie, and some are just like normal homeless people. But this was like 80% zombie. And first show, I get to the gig and I'm a little tired, so I'm like, I'm gonna run over to this Dun Bros and get some coffee. And as I'm coming back, this lady daywalker's walking this way, I'm walking this way, and I know she's homeless. I'm still cordial. I'm like, "Milady, please cross first."
I would just hang back and wait and not even engage.
Well, that's what I did. I didn't actually say "milady," but I
was like, and a hand gesture.
She's got a listen. It's not raining, but she's holding a paper over her head, and she's holding her pants up. And I'm like, "Ma'am," and she fucking looks at me and she goes, "I pulled my pants up for you," and then just kept walking. And I was like,
that is the best album title I've ever heard.
Oh man, it was like, and I didn't even know what to say. I was just so flabbergasted. The sentence itself was so well constructed. But no, the shows in Spokane were good. And then I went to Denver, did some shows there. They were fine. Denver's it's a weird vibe just because it's literally across the parking lot from a giant Bass Pro Shop. And
hold on, I'm gonna not go to this party.
There you
The traffic has been over an hour like all day. Even though I would love to meet her new beau, I know one other person who's going.
Oh yeah, then absolutely not. I hate parties where you don't like. I've been to a few. Like I remember going to Eliza's. I went to a party at Eliza's, and there was 4 people that I knew, and I wasn't really friends with any of them. And I sat down. I talked to them for like 10 minutes. It's still one of the greatest achievements ever. I was at the party for 14 minutes. I literally.
Well, that was my plan. I was like, Alicia, when are you getting there? She said 5:15. I'm like, okay, so if I leave at 4, I can stop and get a card, and I can go to the bank and put $50 in it. And I'm like, I'm just gonna Venmo this bitch with a thumbs up. Like I was gonna spend 2.5 hours in traffic to spend 30 minutes at a place.
Oh no, yeah, and not really be able to talk to her because she's talking to a million other people.
That's exactly right. And like I would love to meet her fiance. He seems lovely.
Yeah,
but I guess I'm going to Quebec. I guess I'm going to Yemen.
I got you. 123 Yemen Street, Yemen.
I guess I'm going to Yemen.
You know, I know people hate Fred's, and I was one of those people when the show was on the air, but it's one of the best written shows of all time.
I agree with you, but I flipped because I lived with 2 other females for like 8 years. And it was just on
all the time.
all the time, all the time, all the time.
I'm rewatching Superstore. You know that, and God damn it, that makes me laugh. Some of the lines in there are
Genius.
of Office quality. Like I wish Hannah.
Well, because it's the creator came from The Office.
Cousin Hannah and I routinely just text each other random Office quotes. And
you mean gay Hannah?
Yeah. And we'll just
call her in the group chat.
I just call her Hannah.
I call her gay Hannah.
Anywho, but yeah, I wish I'm gonna start. But also I don't know if you know Superstore enough to where if I texted it you some weird comment, you'd be like,
oh, I do. I've watched it probably 10 plus times through.
Man,
like series.
It's so funny. So yeah, if you haven't watched Superstore, Talent Receivers, Dumblefucks, Portheads, I cannot recommend it enough.
It's so good.
So good. And the interstitials
so good.
where they show the customers doing things.
Like a woman just taking a bite out of a candle because she sees that she's alone in the aisle. And she just takes like a bite out of it like it's an apple.
Yeah.
So good. So good. But they canceled American Auto. What the fuck?
They did. I think a lot of that is I think that was the strike. I think it was probably on the cusp. And then once the strike hit, they were like, we're not bringing
I hope
back.
It comes back. A lot of shows get a second life these days, so
I hope so too. This strike's gonna get real ugly, I have a feeling.
Oh, it's nowhere close to being done.
No, not even close. Billy Porter had to sell his house and now he's getting divorced.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm working for the French.
Thank goodness.
Man, do they love their lax working laws. I love that they're like, if you don't let us retire 2 years younger, we're burning down the Capitol. And also, like, there's something called RCC, which I'm finding out and it's like, I'm probably describing this wrong. So if I am, don't come after me for it. I'm a dumb woman. And I just learned about this the other day. But it's this thing, it's kind of like a lottery where, I know you're going to sample that out and put it on the button. It's like a lottery. And if you get and if your name is drawn, you get 9 months of unemployment, making the same wage that you are making at your current job. And since
what? I'm sorry. I was thinking about soloing out that clip and then thinking about the other clips that I've soloed out and put into a file called Dumb Things Andi Says.
No, really?
I'm trying to get a montage going.
God damn it.
Don't worry. That's only the second one. I just started.
Tyler sends me little songs where he's like, I'm so hungry. I need food. And it's just stupid shit like that. I have about 25 files on my computer that I think I'm going to cut together for his Mexico birthday. Then I'm going to be in Puerto Vallarta in 4 weeks.
There you go.
In a house with a staff.
Nice.
And not like this, like people that wait on you.
Yeah. Well, I was supposed to go to Maui in October. I think we're going to go to Phoenix instead. So yeah.
You like Phoenix.
Yeah, I do like Phoenix.
I forgot about Mark's house. I was like, that sounds fun. You guys going to training camp? But that doesn't make sense.
That don't make any sense. No, it's actually, I'm still going to look at, they have a bunch of resorts like down like near Laguna Niguel and like in between LA and San Diego.
Maybe even go to like a resort in Encinitas.
In Mexico?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to end up on a documentary.
It's really nice, I promise.
We're trying to say we're going to try to keep it local.
Yeah.
Or somewhere we can drive. Is Encinitas?
Why, or else your girlfriend can't come back in because you bought her on the internet.
I got it. No, that was part of the deal. I got the platinum package where they have papers.
She's got global entry, bitch.
No, but they did overnight her, which was nice.
But she's got a barcode. It's fine. I just say she loved the movie 12 Monkeys.
She's chipped. It's fine. She's chipped. Well, we're running a little long on time, but we'll get this. Guess what time it is?
Boop.
Listener mail time. We got one from Garrett. It says, help, need advice. Hey, Porters, Chris, I'll be at your show in Columbus on the 19th, celebrating my 50th with some friends. Need advice on when to take a gummy to get maximum enjoyment from your show. And then he says, hi, Andy. He spells it with a Y, unfortunately. He says, big fan. Signed Garrett, P.S. That means postscript. I'll be the guy in the Chief shirt. And he sent that to me from AT&T Yahoo Mail on Android.
Ugh. Jesus,
well,
what are you, Russian?
Yeah, this might be a phishing thing.
No shit. This was written by AI.
Well, Garrett, here's the thing. The amount you should take and when you should take it depends heavily on, are you going to eat beforehand? What do you eat? How much do you eat normally when it comes to THC? If you
Certainly
don't,
there's some sort of converter on the internet for that, right?
right?
Like some stoner engineers come up with that.
I hope so. I don't know how accurate.
I'm Googling edible calculator.
Look, man, if you normally take 10 milligrams to go to sleep, I would take 10 milligrams, maybe of a sativa, about an hour before you get in, and then see where it goes. If the middle act's on and you're not really feeling it, pop another one, Did you find it?
No, I didn't, but telling someone to pop another edible is spooky.
Yeah, man, don't be the guy that in the Chief shirt that they have to carry out, like my friend in Vegas. I don't want to.
Here we go. Nugmd.com.
That seems official.
Nug with 2 G's, obviously.
Are you sure it's not nugmd.gov?
No, it's nugmd.com. And it also, this is like how just call a doctor. I don't know. I'm not good at math.
You are not. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
And since you're not good at math, I'll tell you that's all the percent. What happened? What'd you do?
Something was on my glass and I couldn't tell and it's water. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? But I think it's just coffee grounds from my countertop.
Oh, I got you. Well, anything else you want to tell them before we get out of here?
I love your stupid face.
I love your stupid face. Also, if you have questions, concern, need life advice, send it to 1 millionth pod. That's all words, 1 million with a TH and a POD at gmail.com. Also, you can find me at I am Chris Porter on Twitter and Instagram. Tell them where they can find you, Andy.
You can find me on Instagram at Andy Port and on Threads at Andy Port. I'm not really using Twitter anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's X now.
It's just it's so sad. It's so desperate.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I know my Tesla stock keeps dropping.
My coworkers and I were talking about the Zuck Elon fight. And I was like, oh, I'm watching. And my boss was like, Andy, you can't watch that. You can't support that. You can't give them the attention they want. I'm like, don't you want to see one of them get their ass beat?
Oh, Zuck's going to whoop his ass.
Zuck is going to whoop his ass.
Zuck's been doing it for like 4 years. You can't just, you can't overcome that. Yeah, no, it's going to be.
I want to watch that.
Round 1 submission.
I want to watch that. Last week I interviewed an MMA fighter and we did,
ketamine.
No, he did an expert's react on like fighting games.
Oh, okay. And he was like, yeah, you can't yell Hadouken and shoot a fireball. That doesn't work.
Yeah. He's also a radio personality and a former MMA fighter, so he was real fun. Real cool guy. Real cool guy.
Andy, how's it going? Well, Andy, I'll
Oh,
come
no.
back to you right after this Van Halen hit.
Oh my God. It was like, are you a gamer? And I was like, yeah, I play video games, but like combat games, like 2D combat games like this are not really my jam, but I have played them. And he was like, I'm just like, I won him over by the end though. He thought I was funny. I was like, I'll get you. I'll get you on my side. And I did.
Awesome.
He was like, another woman producer. Come on.
Get back in the kitchen. You can find me, like Garrett said, I'll be at the Columbus Funny Bone. That's Columbus, Ohio. Sorry, Georgia. Yeah, I'll be there this weekend, Friday and Saturday, 4 shows. Next week, I will be off. I will be in Kansas City, introducing Jelly Roll and then throwing out the first pitch at the Royals game on August 30th.
You'll also be bringing my straightener back to me.
I will also be bringing your straightener back to you via Louisville, where I'll be playing the Louisville Comedy Club, August 31st through the 2nd. All of my dates through the rest of the year at chrisportercomedy.com. As always, I am Chris Porter.
I'm Andi Porter.
And this has been the 1 millionth podcast. Fuck you.
Come on by.
I did it.
Do, do, do,
Do 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 do
do,
do
do,
do. Love you, Rue.
He didn't even come out. He must be sleepy.
He must be sleepy. All that ketamine.
Where do you think I get it from? Love you too, Chris. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.